turquoise?
Let me tell you, there are things that we men will never really understand.
Absolutely.
We know red is red, white is white, green is green.
Yes, green.
It's
but
okay.
red is another shade of green.
Yes.
Yeah. There's emerald. There's a whole lot of greens.
We all know jungle green. Okay. Today being the 23rd day of this day, Vivian, you are good?
I'm well.
Karibu
I'm
sana.
doing very okay. I am thankful and welcome to the program. You are right in time. This is how we do it right here on Good Morning Kenya. A lot has been happening, and we'll be getting into some of that later on. But right now, allow me to let you know what we are having on our healthy living segment. Today being a Tuesday, we ensure that we bring you a doctor who will get to speak on several matters. And today's conversation is on pregnancy. And to be specific, we're looking at high-risk pregnancy. How do we go about preventing high-risk pregnancies? Can you be able to prevent high-risk pregnancies? How do we go about managing the high-risk pregnancy and the support systems required for that? My doctor, who will be here in studio later on at exactly 9 a.m. is one Dr. Mary Wanjiko. Dr. Mary Wanjiko is an obstetrician and gynecologist and is also a member of the Kenya Obstetrics and Gynecology Society. She will be here to talk to us about that. And this is where I pose this question to you. Do you have any questions concerning high-risk pregnancy? Do you have any question concerning high-risk pregnancy? That is the question that we are asking you today. What question? There we have it on your screen. What question do you have regarding high-risk pregnancy? What question do you have regarding high-risk pregnancy? You can start sending in those questions. The number is 0716-103-301. And once Dr. Wanjiko gets here, she will be getting into all of that. Mike, how's today for you?
Yeah, today is looking great. And that is a very important conversation that you'll be having actually regarding pregnancies.
Yeah.
Today I want us to look at something different, and it's all about sustainability, equitability, resilience, and creating smart cities for all. That is a conversation that we will be having about shaping the urban future. In studio, I'll be having George Arabu Ndege, who is the President, Architectural Association of Kenya, and Engineer Murugu Wairimu, who is a rapporteur, Architectural Association of Kenya Convention 2025. That is the panel I'll be having about creating smart cities, given the kind of rapid urbanization that is happening within the world and even in Africa, given that by 2050, around Africa and Asia will have experienced rapid urbanization, and also the aspect of climate change, because cities around the world contribute to 70% of carbon emissions. So how can that be mitigated, and how do we ensure that we create cities that are resilient, smart, and also equitable to all? That is a conversation I invite you to tune in. Remember, you can be part of every conversation right here on Good Morning Kenya. We are at KBC Channel 1 on all our social media platform. My personal X handle is at @mmigwi.
Right. Now, by the way, guys, do you know that today, the 23rd of September, is actually World Tourism Day? Today is World Tourism Day, and I just would want to know, are you guys touring your own country? Are you local tourists? Are you helping with, moving local tourism? When was the last time you visited somewhere that is not your home, Victor?
Last weekend.
Last weekend?
Yes.
Where were you?
I was somewhere deep inside, around 50 kilometers from Naivasha town, complete off-road, somewhere deep. Yes, I think I was headed towards the other side, between Mau and Naivasha, towards Nakuru and Nakuru and Narok counties, in beside. Yeah, basically.
All
I
right.
did.
Okay, that's good. That's
yeah.
good. Mike?
I think last weekend I was somewhere deep within Nanyuki. Yeah, and spent the whole day there. Then came back.
All right.
Yeah,
That
and
is
actually,
amazing.
when we talk about tourism, it's something that Kenya resonates well with, because we year in year out we have visitors coming to see the different sites that we have, and one of the most famous one is Masai Mara, which attracts lots of tourists from around the world.
Yeah, it does, and it generates revenue for the country.
Exactly.
And speaking about Masai Mara, you know, most people know Kenya for that, for our wildlife, but there's a lot to Kenya. You know, there's the beaches that we have in the coast of Kenya, and then aside from that, we have so many scenic views. You know, do you know we have a desert in Kenya?
Oh, yes.
You know, there's that desert in Kenya. There's this other. We have sand dunes and somewhere, Mambrui in Malindi. Chalbi Desert,
northern part of Kenya.
There's so much to Kenya aside from our wildlife and the beaches. So let's explore our country. Let's do that.
And what about you? You've asked us, where were you?
Exactly.
I was also in my home village.
Yeah.
That is tourist attraction site 001. Oyugis, yes.
Oyugis.
Oyugis.
All right. So for me, the last time I was outside and I wasn't going home, you know,
at the balcony? That's not tourism, Vivian.
That's my balcony.
Had to say weather would be constant.
Because you said that you are outside, so okay, probably.
Well, there's a different kind of outside.
Okay.
Yeah, tell us more.
But anyway, I don't mean that kind of outside. The last time I was out was last month.
Yes.
That's August. I think the second week of August. And hapa tu Naivasha. Sio mbali.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I think now you've brought the issue of tourism. I think the Kenya government is trying as much as possible to open doors for domestic tourism in the country. But again, one of the biggest issues that is bringing a lot of either people not appreciating local tourism as much is priorities. That is number one, priorities. But not so much. We can say that priorities is one of them, yes. But again, the cost of living sounds like a cliche kind of, but the cost of living perhaps is one of the, one of those things that is, oh yeah, we have newspapers here. One of those things that is making people not to explore local tourism. But you really don't have to break a bank to explore. You really don't have to break a bank. It's a matter of just organizing yourself, planning a few coins here and there, and visit a place. Within Nairobi, we are blessed. We have got the national park, the only one actually in the world within a city.
Within a city, true.
And for the friends of Karura right now, Karura is going to be paid for. You can all go to Karura. You can also go to how do you call it? Museum, not so far away from where we are here. And yes, just explore. There's one quote, Mike, you love it.
Yes.
Quotes.
Oh, yeah, quotes.
That a child, just a minute, there's a child that is not traveled will only know that his mother is the best cook.
Exactly.
If you've not traveled, you'll always think that your mother is the best cook.
Exactly.
Mr. Quotes, what do you make of that?
Well, if you do not explore, you will only think that your place is always the best.
Thank you.
There is so much out there that the world offers, even the country that offers. But the quote for today is that hard times don't create heroes. It's during the hard times when the hero within us is revealed. Hard times don't create heroes. It is during the hard times when the heroes within us is revealed. That is a quote by Bob Riley. Indeed, indeed. And also, actually, when it comes to tourism, actually, Victor, I think Kenya is positioning itself through various touch points, one of them being sports. Remember, we hosted the World Safari Rally recently. And one of the things that people are being encouraged to do is to go watch these rallies because they were passing through scenic views, scenic places within the country. You also look at how Kenya is doing, is positioning itself outside. For instance, recently, when I visited Japan, one of the things that is a selling point for the country is tourism. Now, tourism comes in many forms. It could be sports tourism, cultural tourism, and all that. So I think henceforth, probably we are going to see an influx of more visitors within the country because Kenya has a lot to offer. We have a very beautiful country.
For sure, we absolutely do have a beautiful, beautiful country.
All right. So before we get into the discussion, I just want to make it clear that we invited 2 guests for People and Politics, but this is what has happened. First of all, I invited Seth Panyako. Seth Panyako is MP aspirant, Malava constituency, on Democratic Action Party, that is DAPK, and Edgar Busiega, advocate of the High Court and also aspirant Malava constituency DCP party. Unfortunately, Panyako declined the invite last evening, and Edgar Busiega sent a message this morning at 5:54 a.m., just before he went on air, that he's not coming. So I need to tell you, people of Malava, I invited the 2 aspirants, but they have declined. They first accepted the invite, and the poster is out. Is the poster, which went viral. It's on all our social media platforms that they have declined. It is not our mistake. We do our best. But the good thing is, we still have a chance for you to redeem yourself. They are all aspirants. It's just in the basic of respecting the invite and the professionalism that when you sign an invite, you don't send a message at 6 in the morning when you're just about to go on there that you have an emergency. We've all know that.
Yes.
Edgar and Mheshimiwa Panyako, you have a chance to redeem yourself. It's that clear. Thank you very much. What do you have on the front page of the Daily Nation, Vivian?
All right, let me begin with the Daily Nation, and this is what we have as the headline: Teachers, Police face SHA medical crisis. Teachers, Police face SHA medical crisis, and 33 billion shillings is the amount that private hospitals are owed by the state for treating Kenyans under the defunct NHIF scheme. Now, healthcare seems to be in turmoil. Hospitals affiliated with the Rural Urban Private Hospitals Association, that is RUFA, have warned they will not treat teachers and police officers when they transition from their current insurer to the Social Health Authority in December, citing rising deaths. The private hospitals are already demanding cash upfront from other patients using the SHA cover of a similar failure by government to settle their claims. And this story has been fleshed out on page 2 of the Daily Nation. And I'm sure this is a story that is on both newspapers, that's the Star as well as the Standard, and my colleagues will also touch on that. And then another story that has been highlighted on the front page of the Daily Nation, we have no deal on Ruto re-election. Those are words by the Right Honorable Raila Odinga. Dilemma as ODM marks its 20th anniversary. The party that has been the face of opposition finds itself at a crossroads owing to a partnership agreement with the ruling party and the appointment of the 5 members to President Ruto's cabinet. The deal has torn the party into 2 factions, for and against Ruto's re-election, prompting the ODM leader Raila Odinga to declare that his outfit has not resolved to back the incumbent and asking members to cease premature campaigns. That is a story that is on page 4 and page 5 of the Daily Nation. One other story that has been highlighted on the Daily Nation, we have peacekeeping. Ruto decries Kenyan police fighting gangs in Haiti with little aid. Now, the president criticizes the international community, citing inadequate resources for the mission, including second-hand armored vehicles that frequently broke down. That's a story that is on page 11. And one final story highlighted on this paper, we have how a fake letter cost farmers 6 billion shillings of land. Mike, what's on the front page of the Star?
Indeed. This is what is captured on the front page of the Star newspaper. Is Raila planning to run against Ruto? Veteran politician is busy rebuilding a 20-year-old party and recruiting new members as preparations for 2027 polls begin to take shape in earnest. That story is told in detail on page 4 and 5 of the Star newspaper. Radical changes, Uhuru to retain Jubilee top position as Matiang'i joins ahead of 2027 polls. That story is told in detail on page 6 of the Star newspaper. Kenyans maimed in Gen Z protest weigh in on compensation. That story is told on page 7 of the Star newspaper. Old rivalries, new faces as a Bomet governor race takes shape ahead of 2027. That story is fleshed out in detail on page 10 of the Star newspaper. Ali Robbie turned massaging passion into a thriving career. Read that story on page 11 of the Star newspaper. You can read the stories on the page. Now, there's a story here. Juakali to drive employment as formal state jobs shrink. Kipra says that strong drivers lie in construction, transport and storage. That story is told on page 8 of the Star newspaper. There's a story here on the back page of the Star newspaper. It's about sports, quote unquote, I want my record. World champion Jepchirchir plots to reclaim women's only world record from Asefa after beating Tigit's Asefa to the world title in Tokyo. In Tokyo, 2020 Olympic champions Perez Jepchirchir has now set her sights on reclaiming her women's only world record from the Ethiopian star. Kipkurui set sights on distance glory after near podium finish in Tokyo. Read that story in detail on the back page of the Star newspaper. Victor.
Revealed on the front page of the Standard. Revealed. There we have it. I think this is with regards to the death of the lady who died in Nanyuki. Okay. Revealed. So according to the Standard today, Standard say that they can reveal the face of the British soldier whose extradition from the United Kingdom has been ordered by Kenya's High Court. He is accused of robbing a 5-month-old baby of a mother, a family of their daughter, and a Nanyuki community of a young woman who lost her life at just 21. Agnes Wanjiru's spirit still cries for justice, and a major obstacle is the lengthy UK extradition process that is tied up with the courts and the Secretary of State. But the first step lies with Kenya's Director of Public Prosecutions. That is what's on the front page of the Standard. The Standard say that they can now reveal the face of the soldier who is alleged to have murdered Agnes Wanjiru. That is around 10 years ago. According to Peter Wenner, who is a British trained lawyer, says that the Kenyan prosecutors must now present strong evidence that meets UK legal standards for extradition. Even if the judge is convinced, the Secretary of State may refuse to order an extradition in the case where the offense, the accused is charged with could lead to a death penalty. So that is what's on the front page of the Standard newspaper. It's been a case that has been going on for several years now, but the family of the late Wanjiru is still crying for justice. SHA crisis leaves patients stranded nationwide. Most private hospitals suspended services under the Social Health Authority, that is SHA, over 75 billion shillings in unpaid reimbursements, leaving patients stranded. And now, many seeking care were turned away after facilities refused to accept SHA cover. Vivian and Mike, the issue of SHA, but when you hear the CS, that is Duale, saying that the government has put all necessary measures to ensure that SHA is up and running. Even the president said last week that 2 million Kenyans who are unable to pay for SHA will be supported by the government. But then now, when you see the Rural and Urban Private Hospitals Association of Kenya chairperson saying that SHA is not working, so who do we believe?
It's quite confusing, and it's the kind of confusion that we do not need to have, because this are the lives of Kenyans, and that is something that not to mess with. Someone's life is not to mess with, because when you mess with someone's health, you are definitely messing with the person's life directly. I mean, I'm trying to look at a case of people who have chronic illnesses, and they need to access the hospital or these hospital facilities weekly, some maybe monthly, people who are undergoing dialysis, people who are undergoing chemotherapy and all of that. I'm imagining a situation where there's a mother whose date is almost due, and they need to go to the hospital so that they can get to deliver their child or children safely. But now imagine if they happen to have their delivery or their due dates today. Do you know when they go to a private hospital, the hospital that they've been going through their entire pregnancy, they can't be able to deliver their child simply because, well, the hospitals have decided enough is enough, according to them. So it's sad. It's such a sad state of affairs, if you ask me, and I feel like it is a fatal crisis. Yeah.
You know, for far too long, since the inception of SHA, we've had challenges that have come along the way. But I think it has taken us a very, very long time to address these bottlenecks. And it is affecting Kenyans, especially those who rely on SHA to get medical services. I think it's the high time we went back to the drawing board and asked this question. Where are we going wrong with this? What is working? What is not working? How can we address it? Now, and we look at it from that perspective, maybe we will be able to address the bottlenecks that are there and make sure that it is working for everyone. Because sometimes you hear a person who went to the hospital and said, SHA is working. It did this for me. Then there is this other person. I tried using SHA, it did not work for me. So how is it working for some people and it's not working for others? That is the biggest question I think that we need to address, and the government needs to address in as fast as possible, because this is, as Vivian has put it, it's a matter that is affecting the health and lives of Kenyans directly.
Yes. And having in mind that most Kenyans can't actually afford.
Yeah, health is expensive.
Exactly.
Health is expensive. Consultation fee sometimes goes up to 3,000, 5,000, depending on which hospital we've gone to. But the CS has been up and running, saying that he's fixing that sector. Now, the confusion is that the suspension of SHA has now created a lot of confusion amongst healthcare givers, that is hospitals, either private or public hospitals. And you'll hear many people, was it 1.5 weeks ago? The government suspended over 30 hospitals suspected to have been in some kind of fraudulent business. And now even the DCI was directed to investigate some of these hospitals. The question is the case of reimbursement, that yes, they are using their own money, but it comes to reimbursement, it's a problem from the government side. Now, Vivian, your Kiswahili is better than ours, we admit.
Yes.
Mike,
yes,
tukubali
wholeheartedly.
That when two bulls fight.
Okay, that one is an easy one. Fahali wawili wakipigana.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
nyasi ndo wanaumia. Sasa sisi ndo nyasi.
Sisi ndo nyasi. When you hear people, citizens across the country saying that they went to the hospital, yes, some hospitals accept SHA. We have to give credit where it's due.
Yes.
But I think it has to be a nationwide success, that I can go to any hospital in the northern part of Kenya, go to the coastal, or even come to the capital city, walk in any health facility and you'll be helped. Yes. I think that's now where the government needs to streamline the system and make that system work so seamlessly that you as a Kenyan, you really don't have to worry about you're going to the hospital and you're going to be asked about cash payment. You can only use cash probably if you want to go and buy medicine from a pharmacy outside the hospital. All right? But as it is, there is a confusion with the SHA.
Indeed.
Yes.
So why don't we take a break?
Absolutely.
Yes.
We'll be right back. Vivian sema hivyo.
Sema kwa Kiswahili.
Tutarudi hivi punde. Stop.
Wakita nazivuna tunatimia ila ni najua
wote fuchi zako na watu wengi.
Magaidi waliingia kwa kijiji changu wakaanza kuangaisha watu bila mimi Chifu Matata kufahamu lolote.
Nenda bana dhahabe boss pe muranonda tawe fungua mlango. Wewe ni mgonjwa? Hapana.
We are shining the spotlight on the women who are shaping the Kenya's film and theatre industry.
My birth was a performance in itself.
Oh, girl.
I would put skits.
Yes.
You know, and I was the character, the actor in all the skits. I was the mother, I was the father, I was the brother, I was the sister, I was the house girl, I was everybody.
I don't think there's any actor whose parents have forced them to be actors.
Of course.
Like, you must be an actor, forget about being a doctor, be an actor.
When you walk into a room, first of all, people judge you and they want to see, are you creative enough? And then the next thing is, if you're in a leadership role, can you lead?
Because at times people think it's the relationship with that woman that will give you the job. You show them, no, bring me the skills, and I will tell you whether you can work with me or not.
You can't expect everything to just be served to you on a silver platter. This industry needs people to be hardworking.
It's art, it's culture, it's fun, it's attitude.
As you can see with me, I have this handkerchief. And is it really a handkerchief or is it?
My name is Kevin Kasioki. Please join me each and every Friday at 8 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1.
Welcome back. Okay, so let's continue. A very quick one on the front page of another inner pages of the Standard. Mass death in police cell clocked in mystery. The gentleman called Simon Warui's widow says that he left their home in Kayole but was found dead days later in a police cell in Mombasa. Police claim that he died after falling while attempting to climb a wall, suffering neck injuries. That is a case of another death in a police cell in Mombasa. Until Sunday, September, the Warui had the family's sole breadwinner working at a shop that sold some home appliances. And according to them, that morning he left home, promising to return shortly, but he never came back. And that is what is happening here on another page of the Standard newspaper. Lake Victoria officials and Coast Guard build bridges of trust. That is, there has been a back and forth between these two bodies, but then now it's said that they have mended their bridges. Robert Pakis, from war medic to prime suspect in the murder of Wanjiro, trained to save lives. British medic says that the question again, Standard accused of killing, he's been now accused of killing Agnes Wanjiro. If extradited, he would be the first British soldier tried abroad for a civilian murder. Okay, for a civilian murder. We are still waiting to hear and see how that will go. Ruto walks freely in tidy New York as chaos reigns in Nairobi, streets of Nairobi. Okay, they're in, member states are in New York.
Yes.
New York's functioning order revealed the beauty of working system. That's according to the Standard. But leaders have failed to replicate similar efficiency, accountability, and discipline back home. The thing is, images of President William Ruto walking the street of New York on the sidelines of the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly spoke louder than words. But of course that was expected because that place is not so far. Yeah. It's just 500 meters from, not so far from where the president, you know, had his address and of course the General Assembly meeting venue. But he was seen walking the streets. It's a nice thing. And
it started a conversation online,
yes,
by the way.
Yeah.
I'm saying they wish the president would do that along also Tomboya freely, you know. But it should also be the case when he's back home.
Exactly.
I saw that conversation online, yeah.
But, you know, it also depends with the level of... America is far over 200 years of independence.
Yes.
So their system started working over almost 200 years ago. You get it? And that is something that they've worked on over decades.
Yes.
So seeing the president working there, it's a very safe country. You can imagine several heads of states in New York for that General Assembly. Then it means that the security agencies are leaving nothing to chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing to chance. All right, Vivian.
Okay, back to the Daily Nation. There's a story here on the list of services that are unavailable in Kenya right now. The Social Health Authority has released a list of 36 healthcare services that are unavailable in the country and which Kenyans can now go to seek overseas. And some of those services, out of the 36, there are 36 of them, and out of them we have liver transplant is not being done here in Kenya. There's the bone marrow transplant, there's the kidney transplant, pediatric, among other services. There are quite a number of them that have been listed right here on page 3 of the Daily Nation. So you can have a look. They have quite the medical terms, so I opt not to try and read them. There's another story here, still on the same that Victor has touched on. The Ruto decries a lack of support for Kenya's mission in Haiti. President William Ruto yesterday used the United Nations platform to call out the international community's neglect of the Kenyan-led Haiti mission 11 days before the operation comes to an end. Speaking at the high-level side event on the multinational security support, that is MSS, mission to Haiti in New York, United States of America, the president lamented that Kenya had been abandoned in the mission, forcing deployment officers to operate blindly while battling gangs. So he really did talk about the Kenyan-led mission that has been ongoing in Haiti, and that story is on page 11 of the Daily Nation. Junior school teachers seek autonomy. 3 years after the rollout of junior secondary schools, teachers say they remain unsettled, under-resourced, and overworked. They are now demanding autonomy from the primary schools where they are domiciled. So that is a story that is on page 8. A message here from James Odhiambo, who says, we reject the idea of comprehensive schools. It will only increase confusion and conflict between head teachers and junior school staff. You can get yourself a copy of the Daily Nation and get to read on that. Looking at the last page or the back page of the Daily Nation, it says, you deserve it and more. And this is a story of our world champions who got to do as well in Tokyo, Japan. Now, from the World Athletics Reward Scheme, Kenyan medalists will pocket a combined 78 million Kenyan shillings and 27 million from the government cash reward. Kenyan medalists from the just concluded World Athletics Championships will smile all the way to the bank following a cash windfall from the event organizers. The team will also get additional juicy cash rewards from the government. So this is a good story for our medalist who did as well, one more time I repeat, in Tokyo, Japan. They'll be smiling all the way to the bank. And it's a good thing when we see our sports personalities getting appreciated. We saw the same with the Chan Games that were concluded last month. And we saw what that could do for the sports personalities and what that could do for our teams right here from Kenya. And that is going to be the same thing happening with our athletes as they get rewarded, you know, handsomely for a job well done. What's on the star, Mike?
Indeed, indeed. Our sportsmen and women deserve that recognition because they have worked hard for it.
Yeah.
Does Raila plan to run against Ruto in 2027? That story is on page 4 and 5 of the Star newspaper. ODM leader Raila Odinga could be planning to run again for the presidency. The veteran politician is busy rebuilding his 20-year-old party, recruiting new members as preparations for the 2027 elections begin to take shape in earnest. Read that story in detail on page 4 and 5 of the Star newspaper. Kenyans maimed in Gen Z demos weigh in on payouts. IPOA reports that in the June and July protests, at least 65 people were killed. That story is told in detail on page 7. Uhuru to retain Jubilee top post. Matiang'i joins party. Move sparks protest from rival faction, which claims it has been sidelined. Former President Uhuru Kenyatta will remain the leader of the Jubilee party, with former Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i expected to be his deputy. Multiple sources confirmed to the Star that Matiang'i will formally join Jubilee and immediately assume a senior role during the upcoming delegates conference. Read that story in detail on page 6 of the Star newspaper. There's a story here, an interesting story here regarding compensation. Injured in a matatu crash, you can sue and win cash. High Court awards a passenger 650,000 damages after accident in Kisumu. Amid the endless news of road carnage causing deaths and injuries, did you know you could sue a matatu owner or company for compensation if you are injured in an accident? Read that story on page 3 of the Star newspaper. And finally, new KHRC report raises alarm over welfare of queers. That story is told on page 2 of the Star newspaper. Victor.
Let's talk about some politics here. And a quick one. When you talk about by-elections coming up, yes. ODM, don't impose late MP Were's son on Kasipul people. That is according to Homa Bay Deputy Governor Oyugi Magwanga, who has now warned against imposing a candidate on the people of Kasipul on ODM nominations for November by-election. The nomination has attracted aspirants who include the late Kasipul MP Ongondowere's son, that is Boyd Were, Newton Ogada, Adel Ottoman, and George Otieno, Were's assassination on April 30th triggered the by-election. And now Magwanga says that he's actually, who served as the area member of parliament between 2007 and 2017, said that there are signs that some leaders are making attempts to impose Boyd on the people. The controversy here is that Oyugi Magwanga is the deputy governor of Homa Bay County. Gladys Wanga is the national chair of ODM. ODM is supporting the candidate, and the deputy governor of Homa Bay County says, do not impose us. Now that is politics. Talk about politics. Raila, ODM has not decided on its flag bearer ahead of 2027 general election. He says that the party's plans for the next election are still being carefully discussed. And now he has stressed that leadership requires tough decisions and that Kenyans' stability must come before everything else, including politics. Speaking yesterday during an ODM parliamentary group meeting in Nairobi, ODM cautioned members against making commitments that the party has not officially resolved, stressing that the time to make such decisions will come. Raila actually said that their working arrangements with Kenya Kwanza administration ends in 2027. Very quickly, when you talk about by-elections and polls, come clean on November mini polls. According to opposition has now told IEBC, the parties have raised concerns that the commission may have violated the constitution. Okay, the opposition is seeking records of decisions concerning November 27th by-election. Now, this demand is contained in a letter addressed to IEBC Chief Executive Officer Marjan Hussein Marjan by Ndegwa and Ndegwa advocates acting on behalf of Viper Democratic Front, WDF, and other interested parties there. And they said that they want IEBC to come clean. When it comes to the mini polls, IEBC says that they need 788 million shillings that will fund 16 by-elections in November 16th. The commission says that there is 238 million shillings funding deficit so far. You talk about Haiti, and the president also called upon members not to sit on the sideline and to be spectators. World must not abandon Haitian people, Ruto says, as mission ends. The president said that there must be necessary logistical support to make the operation successful. He also said that mission had secured the airport and presidential palace. Good move. And now that the mission is coming to an end, questions are being raised whether the member states who are there led by Kenya should come out. A quick facts. At a glance, the multinational security support, that is MSS mission in Haiti, authorized by the UN Security Council in October 2023 and led by Kenya, aimed to restore peace and order. Number one. Number two, that the multinational forces faces significant challenges, including severe underfunding, inadequate equipment. I think it was Vivian that you mentioned. Oh, yes. Some of the armored personnel carriers are actually broken down, according to them, and they need more of such to keep that country in safe hands. 2 police officers died in Port-au-Prince, tour of duty, 1 still missing. Our hearts and thoughts goes out to the soldiers. The tour of duty for Kenyan police officers deployed in Haiti to fight gangland crime comes to an end next week. Whether they will come put out of the mission is still a case to be had, but yes, they're talking about it. There is a story here, and I just want to, on a light note, before you get to the next thing, how much do you think you're worth, Mike, if you were to get a transfer from here to somewhere else? How much do you think you'd be worth?
I don't know.
Thinking, scratching your head. Vivian, how much do you think you'd be worth?
Oh, wow. Let's not talk about
It's a hard one.
So, assume that Okinyi, the darkest man in Kenya, is your agent. Okinyi, how much would you help? Okay, negotiate on behalf of Vivian and Mike. Okay.
Yeah.
The story is about Musa Dembele. Dembele was named the Player of the Year of the Ballon d'Or. And this is what happened. Actually, he is a PSG, Paris Saint-Germain player. He's only 28 years old. Musa Dembele. Do you know how much this guy is during the transfer window? The amount which was given, Dembele has finally shown that the quality that persuaded Barcelona to pay an initial 96.8 million euros, potentially rising to 135 million, 135.5 million euros to sign him from Borussia Dortmund in 2017. I made a quick mathematics.
Yes.
How much is that in Kenyan shillings?
Oh, Jehovah. So 135.5 million euros is equivalent to 20 billion 536 million 200,000.
For one player.
Pay.
This is money he's going to receive.
Yes. Potentially to rise. That this guy is going to be getting 20 billion.
Wow.
How much is it needed to fund the education system in Kenya or to roll out SHA?
Unaanza kuhesabia pesa yake.
I'm just thinking, IBC is looking for how much for a by-election? 788 million shillings.
Yes.
Ndebele can give 800 million to fund all the by-elections in Kenya, and he'll still go home. His account will not even be shaken.
With a handsome amount.
I know. I keep saying, if you have talented kids in the house, don't just let them sit
I don't know
on
whether I
their
have
talent.
his number here.
Don't just let them sit on their talent for sure.
Yeah.
Martin Jeru, do you have Musa Dembele's number? we need to give him a call.
Hey,
20 billion.
20 billion, bwana.
536 million 200,000 shillings.
Anaingianga mahali unasikia ameitwa governor.
Mkuu.
Chairman.
Those are not even befitting of this guy. We need to find another name, other names to use for such people.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Talent pays.
Yeah.
It pays 100%.
I like what you said, Vivian.
Yeah.
If you have a talented child in the house, you just never know, right?
Don't let them sit on their talent.
Yeah.
Work on their talents.
You talk of talent and you look at how the ladies performed in Japan. Very impressive. They swept everything.
Yeah.
And that is out of pure talent, commitment, sweat and tears. That is why they deserve all the accolades they have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, maybe we can look into one or two more stories before we call it a wrap on the newspapers. There's a story here that has caught my eye. That is Lamu youth turn donkey dung into clean fuel and create employment. Now, in the narrow streets of the historic town that is Lamu, donkeys are not just a cultural symbol. They are the primary mode of transport. However, the daily movement of hundreds of these animals inevitably leaves behind piles of unwanted waste. Now, as the county government continues its efforts to work around maintaining cleanliness around the county of Lamu, their work has been complemented by a local youth group. The group known as the Lamu Arts and Theatre Alliance. Members of this group have introduced an innovative initiative that is transforming donkey dung and other waste into a valuable resource that is eco-friendly fuel. Talk about innovation and also at the same time ensuring that they are cleaning their town. There's one more story here. Teens' death sparks global debate on AI and mental health. I don't know if you guys saw the story of parents who were suing AI, OpenAI, for the death of their child who died by suicide, a teenager who died by suicide, claiming that they used AI for the instructions until he got to a point where he died by suicide. Now, OpenAI, the creator of ChatGPT, has announced new parental controls for its popular artificial intelligence tool following the death of a teenager whose family claims that the chatbot played a role in his suicide. Now, this new feature will allow parents to link their accounts to those of their children, restrict how the bot responds, disable memory or chat history, and receive alerts if a child appears to be in distress. So the company said the changes were part of their efforts to help families set healthy guidelines that fit a teen's unique stage of development. That was very needed, you know, because with AI right now, a lot is at stake. It has its pros, it has its cons, and these are one of the cons that come with this artificial intelligence. Because I mean, someone took their own life using the instructions that they were given by that AI tool. So it's good that they will be keeping track. There is a way that parents can be able to keep track of what their children are doing with their phones or gadgets. Yeah.
All right. I think the newspaper review will wrap it at that. Yes. But I want us to watch something. It's something called Rejection, talking about employment, coming up next. Stay with us.
In today's world, securing a job after university is increasingly difficult. Many graduates like Faith face harsh job rejections and a tough economy. Despite her hopes for a stable job post-graduation, Faith struggled to find work, leading to her to consider starting a business instead.
You're looking for jobs, there are no jobs, you're sending applications, you can't get even the responses. And so that led me to find a way of surviving, and that's when I ventured into selling laptops.
During this time, Faith connected with her friend Caleb, who ran a small computer sales and repair business. Recognizing a partnership opportunity, Faith brought fresh ideas while Caleb contributed his experience. Together, they embarked on an entrepreneurial journey.
Fresh ideas and also the zeal from someone new.
Setting up the business proved challenging. They needed to find a prime location, reliable suppliers, and raise funds for rent and stock.
The business is capital intensive, and that meant that I have to look for capital, and also starting out, especially here in Nairobi, it's very expensive because you'll need to have connections on where to get stock, on where to get the capital, on where to start from, and so even getting people to work with you through the journey was a bit challenging, but through and through we have been able to climb the ladder.
They chose to sell computers due to the growing reliance on technology, which they believed had significant market potential.
Right now, the world is all about technology. So you need to have a computer to do everything. Right now, you need to have a computer and all the electronics. You can't stay without a gadget. So that is something that is needed. It's almost a basic need nowadays.
Trust was crucial to their success. As friends, they divided responsibilities based on their strengths and ensured the shop remained open even when one was absent. They tackled problems together, leading to innovative solutions for smooth operations.
We act like a pilot and a co-pilot. So whenever I'm not there, the co-pilot is able to do everything that I can do. So we have equal roles, and everybody knows what they are good at, and they have perfected the places where they're good at, and so we're able to complement each other in that way.
Understanding each other, yes. So Of course, I have some ideas. My partner has other ideas, but we have to understand one another so that everything can run smoothly.
As competition increased, they needed to differentiate themselves. They expanded services by offering repairs, a Lipa Pole Pole payment plan, and door-to-door deliveries. These additions attracted more customers and helped build a trusted brand.
We don't only sell computers, we also do repairs. We also offer payment plans. So like when you come to purchase a laptop from us, we take you through the different types that we have. After that, we're able to give you options. You choose the option that you like the most, and then we take you through the Lipa Pole Pole plan. We have Lipa Pole Pole plans for laptops, and we also have repair services whereby we do not only sell laptops, but we also repair. If you have a laptop that is that has an issue, we can also repair that for you. And we have services like delivery services.
Starting the business transformed Faith's life. Overcoming job rejection, she found joy in independence and success, earning more than she expected and feeling grateful for taking the risk.
And so one of the things that I know I might not do as a person is go back to be a career person, because for sure if I'm going to be a career person, that career might not pay me the much that I need to survive, especially in Nairobi and in the current economic status that we are in. Yeah.
Faith's online skills helped expand their customer base through social media advertising, customer reviews, and online orders with delivery options.
And you see, for a fresh graduate, she's well conversant with online marketing, so she has taught me a lot.
Now successful entrepreneurs, Faith and Caleb advise youths not to wait for employment, but to seek alternative paths. They encourage aspiring entrepreneurs to identify market trends rather than blindly starting any business, as maintaining one can be challenging.
That you feel like giving up, the days that you feel like you don't know, you don't have a direction, but at the end of the day, just sit down and ask yourself, then what? If I sit here and wait, who is coming to save me? Definitely with our current state of the economic status that we are in right now, there's no one who is coming to save you. So the only thing you need to do is just start. Whatever it is that you're thinking about, just start and be disciplined and be consistent as much as possible.
You can check whatever is moving online, because you see, you can start a business, but then you will not find clients because whatever you're selling is not needed at the moment. So you need to have something that if you buy to sell, you'll find clients instantly.
A grown woman who we took abroad to study, then she decides to get a baby and keep it a secret for God knows how long.
Don't owe you any explanation.
Are you Chris? Unajua mimi ni nani? If you don't let me go right now, my friend, you are in trouble.
You need to come back. I feel like something bad is gonna happen.
Itisha alafu nilalishwe chini, wacha ikae.
I want to go home. You don't get it. You don't get it. I don't trust her one bit.
Lucky, right?
Relax.
Friday night again.
Greetings in the name of the Most High Jah Rastafari. My good name is Marley Moses, the positive warrior, alongside.
Yes, sir, DJ D-Rage, the baddest. Each and every Wednesday from 10 p.m. on KBC Channel 1 TV.
Tunakuletea the biggest reggae party in 254 in a yard extra. Extra niceness of reggae music.
Extra dose of entertainment.
When the thing is nice,
we have to do it twice.
Want to enjoy free-to-air digital TV with crystal clear quality? Here's how to get started with Signet. Step 1. If you have a smart TV, you're good to go. Next, connect the aerial to your TV. Now, do an auto search on your TV. Just follow the prompts on the screen. And that's it. You're now tuned in to Signet. Sit back and enjoy a wide range of free-to-air digital channels. For technical inquiries, call the Signet hotline on 0770 572 656.
All right, welcome back to Good Morning Kenya. My name is Mike Migu. You're just in time for our first conversation, and we are talking about what has to do with shaping the urban future towards creating a sustainable, equitable, and resilient and smart cities for all. And for this conversation in studio, I'm joined by George Arabu Ndege, who is the President, Architectural Association of Kenya. Welcome to Good Morning Kenya.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you for having us.
Karibu sana. And also with me is Muguru Wairimu, she's an engineer and also a rapporteur at the Architectural Association of Kenya Convention 2025. How are you doing this morning?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you for making time. Yeah. Karibu sana. George, I will start with you. We're talking about shaping the urban future towards a sustainable, equitable, resilient, and smart cities for all. What, in your own words, does it mean?
Thank you, Mike. The issues of sustainability are tied to resilience. And when we talk about resilience, is that what are these factors that require a city, an urban area to be resilient? When we talk about an urban area, we're talking about a settlement which has a lot of people in a smaller space compared to a rural area. And these people come with different cultural challenges and cultural issues, positive and negative, and they're living very close together.
Yes.
Now, there is also the issues of the rapid growth of our populations.
Yeah.
Because we are seeing, like, for example, in Kenya, our population is growing by 5% annually. So that is one challenge. And then now we are looking at the issues of climate change, because these are issues that we are not, well, as much as human beings have contributed to them, a couple of them we're not in control over. So an urban area must be able to survive this and be able to provide a space where people are not just working now, because it started off as a factory, but now cities are places where people work, play, and live. So how is it livable? How does it improve the quality of life and survive the adverse weather conditions that we are experiencing with climate change?
Now, Engineer Muguru, you know, he has mentioned something to do with climate change, and sustainability is one of the things that has been talked about lately. So when it comes to the context of urban development and planning, what does sustainability mean?
Well, with sustainability, the aim is how then do you make sure that we are conserving our environment, not just for ourselves, but for the future generations. Yeah. So when we think about urban planning, we're thinking in terms of people need to live in homes, people need to live in houses. So how do we design and construct our houses that we are using less resources?
Yes.
And in the context of structures, then you start thinking about that the houses are well lit, that people don't have to use power during the day or when it's not necessary, that we think about like the water, the usage of water in those environments. And you notice nowadays in our cities and many urban areas, people are being forced to get more, to dig boreholes and all that. How do we then ensure that the water usage is okay? For instance, when we come to, there's water that we flush, you know, flushing water in the toilets.
Yes.
We have the cleaning water. How can we recycle that water? Because, and then that way you end up reducing the resources that you're consuming. Another aspect of, so like just trying to rely more on nature as opposed to now using AC, which raises the electricity consumption, trying to reduce the water consumption. Then when it comes to aspects like mobility, you notice that all cities, many cities deal with traffic, especially in African cities. So how then, these are so many people living at the same place and they are having similar commute needs. And by that I mean, every morning we all go to work, a good number of us go to work. So we have that a large amount of people who need to get to work at the same time. How then do we make sure that we are reducing the congestion, which also reduces the effect of, you notice that transportation is one of those serious contributors to the pollution, to the carbon emissions. So how do we then get to move people more effectively? And then again, when you're living in the same spaces, then you have to think about, are people getting to interact with nature? We have public spaces. So how do we then get to a point where we have these kids, they are growing, people are able to access public spaces, and that green environment, you see, green spaces are also what help, they are carbon sinks, they help reduce the carbon emissions being reduced. And also they help, when it rains, the stormwater, it infiltrates, so they recharge the groundwater. So how do we get to design cities incorporating all those needs while still accommodating so many people?
You know, you've spoken of a very important aspect about carbon emissions, and you know, cities contribute to 70% emissions level it's the global level of emissions where cities contribute 70% of carbon emissions. And George, for a city like Nairobi or Kisumu or Mombasa, what steps can they take to ensure that the carbon footprint that we have right now is reduced and still accommodate urban growth?
And unfortunately, when we talk about the issues of emissions and urban growth, for some reasons, for a long time it was believed that those cannot be separated, that for cities to grow and accommodate the needs of the population and the growing population, there will be the consequence of emissions being increasing. And that was true for a long time, because remember, when you talk about how most of our cities started, Nairobi started as a railway station, a railway stopover. Kisumu is the same thing. Mombasa started as a port. So there's a lot to do with work and factories. And then, of course, we looked at a situation where the issues of environmental impact of our cities was not taken into consideration. So when the discussion started around the responsive climate designs, people started to realize that it's actually possible to reverse the process, or at least minimize the emissions, or sort of take the emissions and try to create what engineers talked about, for example, carbon sinks. But most importantly, it's also change of lifestyles. Right now, we are talking about issues, for example, when we talk about mobility, with the issues of emissions from crude oil as a primary source of energy. It is possible for cities to start encouraging, for example, cars which use electric vehicles, for example. That is one. But at the same time, encourage the use of sustainable energy sources, like solar, for example. The issues of greening cities cannot be underestimated, because it's not just about creating public open spaces, but also creating these carbon sinks that engineers mentioned, because we can't look at them as being something. It's not now an issue of aesthetics anymore. It's a functional part of the city. And if, for example, the city is well planned, the movement is seamless. There's not a lot of energy and emissions actually happen in traffic. Yes. Because a car is moving, it's not going, but yet it's there just stagnant, being inefficient. If there's efficient movement, access points, flow of traffic, and then it means that we will reduce the emissions. So the issue is about, we cannot completely avoid contributing to the carbon emissions, but we can reduce, and at the same time, we can offset the emissions using greening of cities, using efficient flows and commute routes. And at the same time, just looking at housing, because construction sector contributes about up to 40%, actually. So if we build green buildings, if we build what we call passive buildings, which don't require so much energy to operate, and we do recycling of water, as we mentioned, we will be able to greatly reduce the emissions.
Is green the way you've put it, green buildings, is it achievable within this city? And are there efforts to ensure that this is coming up?
So I don't know whether we mean this city Nairobi or we mean this city Kisumu,
Nairobi, yes.
Because our context in this particular time is actually very sensitively about on the intermediary cities.
Yes.
I'll tell you this, that Nairobi is a bad example. It's a bad big brother as a city. So a lot of other cities like Kisumu and all the other counties, they look up to Nairobi, thinking Nairobi has developed, has big buildings, has all this business. But the reality of the matter is that Nairobi can grind to a halt at some point, because the rate at which we are building without planners, without plans, without architects, without professionals, without engineers, what will happen is that we can continue this, which looks like good business, and then there will be a time when we'll grind to a halt. It is possible if we start now, because they always say that the next best time to start doing something right is today. Yeah.
So, Engineer Muguru, when you talk about smart city, what is it combined of? Would you say it's a case of ICT, traditional buildings, and human capital?
Well, I think smart cities, well, we make a mistake of just looking at the IT aspect of it, but it's very important. I think smart cities is the part where you have to combine so many things to work together. Allow me to use mobility as an example, because that's my strength. Yes. So he's just talked about sustainable mobility, and he's talked about that we need to move people from one point to another, and there are so many. So he talked of encouraging, but I keep saying sustainable mobility, I define it in two contexts. The Western context, where they need to incentivize and more encourage people to use greener modes of movement. For instance, you notice in the Western cities, more people have a higher capacity to buy cars and all that. So if you look at how they plan their cities, they plan their cities in a way that there is compact growth. I know we've had that conversation of compact in our country, and there's nothing wrong about it, but it is the how that we use. And if you look at it, let's use two examples. I would like to mention some of our even neighbors, Dar es Salaam, Kigali, and Addis Ababa. There's something that we can learn from each of those three cities. If we start with Kigali, which is talking about 15 minutes growth, if you look at their plan, they have a plan, an urban planning plan that they came up with for 2050. You'll notice that they have approved a lot of compact development along mass rapid transit systems. So when you do that you approve compact development along mass rapid transit systems, it means that you're allowing going higher, the 20 floors, 75 floors, as we have been discussing, but around mass rapid transit systems. So that almost incentivizes or forces the people who will live around there to use the mass rapid transit system. You get it? So then that way, the mass rapid transit system can accommodate more people, and it makes movement much faster, as opposed to you drove to this place, I drove to this place, he drove to this place. So we are not efficiently using the road resources, you get. So the moment you allow it, that means you are allowing compact development, but you're also allowing so many you are also factoring in transit and other utility needs. So, and then now with that you bring in the ICT aspect of it, like intelligent traffic systems and all that. So then that way you're able to complement the decisions that you're making with IT. And you say like ITS allows more efficient movement of traffic, and in fact there are some cities where they have the mass rapid transit systems. They allow that the bus BRTs or the LRTs or MRTs, they are prioritized. It means there is smart policing. It means that you see, so that you combine now the ICT aspect of it with the plans that you're making, which makes cities work. I think that's what
so it's one thing that makes a ripple effect. And even the way you've put it, having development along mass transit systems is something that contributes to economy. Engineer George, I want you to talk about this. Given what Engineer Muguru has said, do we need a new style of leadership and urban management to achieve this aspect of smart cities for the future?
First, can I clarify something? I did not drive here. Okay. I was trying to go green, so I used a cab.
Yes.
I would have used mass transit if it was existing, and I totally agree with that. The issue of mass transit is actually very smart, because smart is not just about technology, it's also about management. And as I bring to your question, the issues of urban management are core to sustainability, to resilience. Because once you have the system in place, the next thing is that how do you manage this? How do we run these cities? Because right now there's a lot of politics in terms of our urban management issues. In fact, when you think about the 47 counties, each one of them with a center, an urban center, the ones which are growing rapidly, it's just amorphous. There is no, the county development authorities, the county government doesn't have blueprints on how these cities are growing. And at the same time, they're not able to control how these cities are growing. They don't have capacity to inspect development project. They don't have capacity. They don't have plans. For example, a simple plan like how matatus move. Public transport, how they move around there. It is just, I think it's cartels which are controlling where matatus stop, where the stages are. You saw the other day, I think, is it in Nyeri, where the county built a new stage, and the matatu guys refused to use it. These are very important issues of management. If these urban areas do not have proper management, if they do not have serious plans on how these cities will be run, it's just to be like a home that is broken, where everyone does whatever they want to do. In an ordinary family setup, there's a way in which meals are prepared, who buys what, who does what, activities here and there, and various people are given responsibilities. And then when it comes to rights, because the case of, for example, I'm going to go back to the case of, for example, public transport. In this case, matatu is the most common one we have in this country. Is purely controlled by private sector. In developed countries, in smarter or what I'll call forward-looking countries, please note it's not developed like North America. I'm talking about Scandinavian and a lot of cities in China. The government is highly involved in public transport, because this is how you move the productive population. If these people are stressed when they are moving from their workplaces and going back, how productive are they? Now, where is the failure here? There are two failures. Is that we don't have plans, and then we don't have good management. So what will happen is that those cannot be one over the other. If, as soon as we implement new plans, like for example, a city like Kisumu has just implemented a new city plan. The next big thing has got to be how that city plan will be implemented. It must be implemented through good, robust management systems and personnel. Yes.
So another question, given whatever we've talked about it, how do we finance that? How do we finance these issues, Engineer Wairimo?
Well, of course, let's start maybe like, let me use even our topics in the convention, how we are doing that. So one of the things we're going to be discussing under the financing bit is building climate resilient cities. And one of that has to do with green financing. You see, nowadays there's even that bit where, and these are now policies that people come up with, that if someone is having a green building or if someone is developing a green building, then there's that, the loans are cheaper, just to incentivize more people to adapt that. Again, allow me to use our neighboring cities, because these forward-looking cities, we don't have to, it's not just the developed world, how they are going about it. Like if you look at Kigali, they have really incentivized importing of electric vehicles. And that is because then now you start thinking in terms of safer vehicles, because the newer the vehicles are, the better they are better in performance. But these safer vehicles, and also the electric vehicles, then you notice they reduce the emissions. And then if you look at our neighbors, Addis Ababa, they have now adopted a policy of just encouraging more people to work. And the first thing they do that is they have really made sure that their active mobility is well done. They have an LRT system, and they have developed to a certain extent the lines, BRT line 3, line 6. They're really working on their mass rapid transit. So the moment then you provide a viable alternative, then you can finance by charging people who are using private vehicles. That is a way of financing these bits. You get it? So it's more about coming up with incentivizing sustainable options. For instance, now if I notice that, like in Rwanda, Kigali, where if I import an electric vehicle, then the tax burden will be less for me, then that makes it a viable option. So then that way you're encouraging more people to move towards it. If I am a developer and I can get a more affordable loan, because I am coming up with a sustainable building, then what I'm going to do, I'll do that. And how then do you come up with this? He talked about the fact that we have a tendency of running chaotically. Many people even tend to avoid using built environment professionals to plan. But you'll achieve a lot of this when you use built environment professionals in your development. It may be very cheap, expensive in the beginning, because of course you have to give the professional fee involved. But what about the recurrent use? A lot of us focus a lot on the initial capital outlay and fail to forget maintenance. There's a building I saw recently, and I started calculating how much opportunity cost was missed because they didn't involve professionals. They don't need to tell us. As a professional, you'll look at it and you'll know no professional was involved. And you start calculating, even with regards to electricity bill. Because a professional will design your building in a way that we have you have a lot of control, and in a way that even the current utilized is not much. So they will they'll need that consulting fees. But you'll notice the bills you pay subsequently for the rest of the life of that building, they are way cheaper. But how many times do we look at the costs, the opportunity cost missed, and also following rules? I have used 3 examples, the cities around us: Dar es Salaam, Kigali, Addis Ababa, and there are many others. But if you look at all these cities, they use our policies to develop their cities. And sometimes they use our professionals. We have so many landscape architects who are developing Kigali more than they're developing our country. So it's about, I think we have the right resources, we just have At times there's a rogue way of doing things, but we have a lot, and we have very, very, very good policies.
Yeah.
If only we committed to that, then it's more about just committing to what we have.
Yes.
And we are holding our convention in Kisumu because Kisumu has been very committed to that. If you look at Kisumu, it's one of the most walkable cities. You'll notice it's very clean. It's quite clean, and their county government has really been committed. They have a Kisumu Sustainable Mobility Plan. And even when they are funded, because we have some urban programs that are funded, some of them like the CUSP programs, which is funded by World Bank, they implement the whatever is in that Sustainable Mobility Plan. And when you look at it, you can see the effects.
Indeed.
It's just more about working with professionals and working towards a plan. And one of the topics we'll have in our convention is especially about the urban plans. We have the county governments, how the county governments can implement this, and this will be done by one of our professionals who is who's a CC in one of these counties, Taita Taveta. We are also inviting an engineer from Dar es Salaam who has worked in DART for a long time when they were commencing the BRT system.
Yes.
And now he's working in urban mobility to just explain more about, use that as a case study for us to learn. So at times this is what the conventions are about. If you look at our topics, urban planning, and we have some case studies, like now we have a case study of how county governments can be used to implement plans, urban planning in the counties. We have a case study of effectively moving transport systems that move cities forward. We have another case study of sustainable financing when it comes to green buildings. So and Kisumu are also going to present their Kisumu Sustainable Mobility Plan. It is using what people are doing, which is working and giving us a platform as professionals to learn from the same.
Yes. You know, George, the AAK convention is coming up. When is it happening? And from your perspective, how do you think such conventions shape Kenya's approach to sustainable, resilient, and smart cities?
Mike, I think the most important thing right now is to say that to be fair to the Kenyan public, that we, for a long time, as professionals, we've been speaking to ourselves and to each other about professionalism, about what should be done right.
Yes.
And one of the reasons we are going, what we call out into the intermediary cities is how can we reach more people, and also how can we support the various county governments in terms of what they are already starting to do. As the Rapporteur General has just mentioned, that Kisumu is one of those cities that are already thinking that way.
Yes.
And the main challenges we are looking at here is that it's actually capacity. A lot of counties lack professionals. You'll be surprised if you do a very quick audit that most of our counties don't have the prerequisite consultants, the professionals.
Yes.
We are going to be in Kisumu on 1st of October. To 3rd.
Yes.
And we start off with a mentorship session in a school. We have a program at AAK called Grow a Classroom, where we're trying to improve planning and learning environments for public primary schools. And we are hoping to instill stewardship, especially in younger generations, on environmental issues and planning issues. And at the same time, we are also looking at how can we encourage other cities, not necessarily to look at Nairobi as an example, but to look at Nairobi as examples of what not to do. Because there's a lot of things that Nairobi is doing wrong that a city like Kisumu could actually do moving forward. And that starts off with the issues of proper plans, having them in place. And these plans actually involve what you would call devolved decision making, where there was participation from the population, people know what they want, and then you prioritize, as the engineer was saying. We don't have finite resources. We don't have millions and billions of shillings. We have only some few money, but how do we prioritize it?
Yes.
And then at what point does this amount of money become useful? It only becomes useful when you target the most vulnerable. Who are the most vulnerable? The urban majority in Kenya. More than 60% of people, they use public means or they walk to work.
Okay.
So if these guys are comfortable, then it becomes easier to deal with the people who are driving. And I think this is some of the message we are trying to push out there, that focus on non-motorized transport, for example, make someone walk comfortably and have a situation where it is not difficult to be someone who's working in a city. Cities should be safe for the most vulnerable, the kids, women, so that if those people find it safe, then it means it's safe for everyone.
All right. Yes. All right. Allow me to end this conversation here. And I thank you so much for making time to come and talk about these matters, and also that it will be addressed during the AAK convention that is coming up. That is George Arabu Ndege, who is the President, Architectural Association of Kenya, and Engineer Muguru Werimo, who is a Rapporteur General, Architectural Association of Kenya, Convention 2025. I take you on the other side of Radio Taifa for the continuation of Good Morning Kenya with Dora Manya. My name is Mike Migwe. Stay with us.
A grown woman who we took abroad to study, then she decides to get a baby and keep it a secret for God knows how long.
Don't owe you any explanation.
Are you Chris? Unajua mimi ni nani? If you don't let me go right now, my friend, you are in trouble.
You need to come back. I feel like something bad is gonna happen.
Itisha alafu nilalishwe chini, wacha ikae.
I want to go home.
You don't get it. You don't get it.
I don't trust her one bit.
Lucky, right? Relax.
Friday night again.
Greetings in the name of the Most High, Jah Rastafari. My good name is Marley Moses, the positive warrior, alongside...
Yes, sir, DJ D-Rage, the baddest. Each and every Wednesday from 10 p.m. on KBC Channel 1 TV.
Tunakuletea the biggest reggae party in 254 in a yard extra. Extra niceness of reggae music.
Extra dose of entertainment.
When the thing is nice,
we have to do it twice.
In a world where news is ever changing, staying informed is more important than ever.
Join us every week on News Check, your go-to show for the latest in current affairs, breaking news and in-depth analysis.
A warm welcome to KBC News Check.
From politics to global events, we bring you content that matter to you.
We're not just speaking about the governance and how we want to see it, but want to actually participate.
Get your facts, hear from the experts, and really understand what is happening around you.
We need to change our system first.
You have to do the impossible to make sure the message is home.
Stay ahead, stay informed, stay engaged.
Will these people, everybody agree?
Just listen to me.
Let's give him a chance to clear the air.
Catch News Check every Tuesday and Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Only on KBC Channel 1.
we are shining the spotlight on the women who are shaping the Kenya's film and theater industry.
My birth was a performance in itself.
Oh, girl.
I would put skits.
Yes.
You know, and I was the character, the actor in all the skits. I was the mother, I was the father, I was the brother, I was the sister, I was the house girl, I was everybody.
I don't think there's any actor whose parents have forced them to be actors.
Of course.
Like, you must be an actor, forget about being a doctor, be an actor.
When you walk into a room, first of all, people judge you and they want to see, are you creative enough? And then the next thing is, if you're in a leadership role, can you lead?
Because at times people think it's the relationship with that woman that will give you the job. You show them, no, bring me the skills, and I will tell you whether you can work with me or not.
You can't expect everything to just be served to you on a silver platter. This industry needs people to be hardworking.
Mbunge wa eneo bunge la Lugari. Inafurahisha sana kuwa nawe mheshimiwa katika studio zetu.
Asante.
Asante.
Ujuavyo hapa ni nyumbani.
Bila shaka.
Nilifanya kazi hapa miaka zaidi ya 7 kabla nifanye mambo mengine.
Naam.
Asante.
Shukran sana. Na nitaanza nawe mheshimiwa Nabii Nabwera. Wewe ni mjumbe, wewe ni mbunge. Mnarejelea vikao baada ya takriban nafikiri mwezi mmoja wa mapumziko. Ipi ambayo katika meza yenu wakati ambapo mnarejelea vikao vyenu siku ya leo?
Asante. Tumekuwa katika likizo fupi ambayo pia inaitwa likizo ya kufanya kazi kwa sababu kamati za bunge zilikuwa zinaendelea na mikutano. Mimi huwa katika kamati 2, kamati ya elimu, sayansi na teknolojia, na pia niko katika kamati ya wasibu wa pesa serikali. Na kwa hivyo tumekuwa tukikaa katika mikutano kupiga msasa ripoti za kamati na kuangalia kazi ambayo inatakiwa iwe imetendeka kwa kipindi cha muda ya miaka zilizopita, na tunarejelea leo kwa rasmi kwa mikutano vikao vya bunge. Katika msimu huu ambao tunarejea, unajua ni baada ya kwanza mwaka mpya wa makadirio ya fedha na matumizi ya fedha za serikali. Mhula wa kwanza, first quarter. Kwa hivyo mambo mengi ambayo yatakuja kwenye bunge yatalenga utumizi wa fedha ambazo tulikadiria kuanzia Julai 1 kuendelea mbele. Na kati ya mambo ambayo yanajitokeza tunatarajia kuyazungumzia ni utumizi wa fedha kwa shule ambayo inaitwa capitation. Imekuwa na changamoto kubwa, na pamoja na hiyo, kama mmoja wale wanakamati wa elimu, kuna ripoti ambayo inaelezea kwamba kumekuwa na fedha ambazo zinatolewa kwa wanafunzi ambao hawapo.
Ndio.
Ni jambo la ufisadi, ni jambo ambalo linahitaji kuangaliwa na bunge, na si wanafunzi wachache, zaidi ya wanafunzi 50,000 ambao hawapatikani kwa rekodi yoyote. Na pia kuna jambo la shule gushi, shule ambazo zimepata fedha na ile hali ukienda kwenye mahali ambapo kuna semekana shule hizo sipo, huwezi kuzipata. Hilo ni la kwanza. La pili, kabla tuende ligizo, kulikuwa na miswada miwili ambayo ilikuwa imeletwa kwenye bunge. Ilikuwa na utata. Ya kwanza inaitwa Privatization Bill number 36 of 2025. Ni mswada wa serikali kubinafsisha kampuni za serikali. Na kuna mswada wa kipekee ambao unaitwa Session Paper number 2 of 2025 kubinafsisha Kenya Pipeline.
Okay.
Huo ni mswada ambao siku ya mwisho ya bunge ulileta utata na speaker simamisha wabunge kuizungumzia. Kwa hivyo tunatarajia italetwa kwenye bunge. Kuna jambo lingine muhimu ambalo tunatarajia. Kamati 4 za bunge ambazo zinaangalia mambo na kuhusu matumizi ya fedha ya serikali: Public Accounts Committee, Public Investments Committee Commercial, Public Investments Committee Education, Public Investment Committee Agriculture.
Yes.
Tunatarajia ripoti kutoka kwa hizo kamati 3 ambazo zina mambo makubwa sana kuhusu jinsi fedha za serikali zimetumika, na jinsi hizo kamati zinatoa mapendekezo ya kutumia pesa kuendelea mbele. Na jambo moja ambayo pia hiki kipindi kitazungumzia ni IBC kuhitaji shilingi bilioni 1 ambayo haiko kwenye makadirio kwa matumizi yao ya kuhakikisha kwamba sehemu 25 ambazo hazina wawakilishi, bunge ya county na bunge kuu na seneti imefanyika. Na unajua hiyo kura inafanyika tarehe 27 Novemba. Kwa hivyo hilo ni jambo la dharura, lazima bunge izungumzie na ipate kutenga fedha bilioni 1 ambazo wanahitaji kufanikisha kazi hiyo.
Shikilia pale mheshimiwa, umetueleza bayana yale ambayo tunatarajia, na asante sana kuweka wazi. Tutakuwa tunataja baadhi ya hayo ambayo uliyagusia kadri vile muda utakuwa unaruhusu, lakini mlete kidogo wakili pia. Ulivyosikia mheshimiwa ametaja baadhi ya yale ambayo, baadhi ya miswada ambayo iko katika meza yao, lakini pia katika siku za awali bunge pia limekashifiwa kwa kuonekana kuzembea katika kupasisha miswada ambayo inamhusu mwananchi. Unapoketi kama wakili, unaweza kuzungumzia vipi kuhusiana na labda kasi ya bunge letu hasa la taifa, maana niko na mheshimiwa hapa, kupasisha miswada ambayo inamhusu mwananchi?
Ni kweli kabla waende likizo fupi vile mheshimiwa amesema, ni kweli kuwa tulikuwa tumeona wameanza kuleta bills ambazo Wakenya wengi hawakuwa wanazitaka. Kwa sababu gani? Ni zile bills ambazo hazihusiani na mahitaji ya Wakenya. Wakenya wengi kwa kweli wanasema shida iko kubwa sana ni hakuna pesa mfukoni. Unapoelewa kuwa hakuna pesa mfukoni, tunaomba kuwa wakati watarudi kuanza kuzungumzia haya mambo, wakati wataanza vikao vyao rasmi, wakuwe wahakikishe kuwa zile bills ambazo wanazishughulikia ni zile ambazo zinahusiana na mahitaji ya Wakenya kwa ujumla. Kumbuka kwamba kuna shida ya capitation. Watoto saizi hawaendi shuleni. Kumbuka kwamba kuna shida ya SHA. Watu wengi sana wanateseka. Uliona hapo jana kulikuwa na mambo mengi sana. Kulikuwa na wale ambao wamekuja wakasema kuna mambo kama hayo. Kuna referendum bills ambao walikuwa wameanza inahitajika ili wafanye amendments ya constitution. Tulikuwa kotini tukapigana na hiyo constitutional amendment bill kwa sababu hakuna framework, hakuna mchakato rasmi ambao utaongoza Kenya kwa namna ambayo hata referenda zitafanyika. Hayo ndio yale mambo ambayo tunataka hawa waheshimiwa wakianza kuyaangazia wakuwe kina, wakuwe na makini ya kuhakikisha kwamba hizo hayo mahitaji ya Wakenya yanashughulikiwa kabla turudi kwa haya mambo mengine ambayo ni hayana umuhimu sana kwa Wakenya wengine.
Nije kwako Mheshimiwa Nabii, unaketi katika kamati ya bunge ya elimu na umetanguliza kwa kutaja kwamba haya baadhi ya masuala mtaangalia sana, kwa mfano shule zile ambazo haziko wanafunzi zaidi ya 50,000 ambao hawapo kupokea zile pesa za ziada ambazo serikali inatuma kwa jina la capitation. Mara si moja tumesikia, labda utakuta kwamba kuna scandal ambayo ipo ikatajwa, lakini haitafuatiliziwa sana tukapata kujua mwisho wake mambo yalikuwa vipi. Ninyi kama wabunge na hasa unaiketi katika kamati ya elimu, baada ya ripoti hiyo kufichuliwa, mapendekezo yenu ni yapi na mtafanya vipi kufuatilia kuhakikisha kwamba angalau kama tunasema wanafunzi 50,000 gushi wamekuwa kupokea pesa, shule zimekuwepo gushi, basi sheria inachukua mkondo wake?
Asante sana Amanya. Ninataka pia nitokeze hapa kwamba mimi nakaa katika kamati ya elimu na kamati ya matumizi ya pesa ya serikali. Kwa hivyo ninaiangalia kutoka pande zote mbili. Nataka niwahakikishie Wakenya kuwa kamati ya Public Accounts Committee ambayo inahusika na utumizi wa fedha za serikali iliamuru mkaguzi wa vitabu vya serikali, Auditor General, kufanya ukaguzi wa kirasmi, inaitwa special audit, kwa mambo ya matumizi ya fedha ya capitation, mambo ya matumizi ya fedha ya kujenga shule, mahabara, na mambo ya matumizi ya fedha kuhusu mpango ulioko ambao wanataka kubadili kuandikisha wanafunzi, inaitwa NEMIS, kuweka wanafunzi kuandikisha kutumia mtandao, ambao wanaibadili, wanaweka inaitwa KEMI, a new one. Na huu mpango wa KEMI ni kwamba unataka kuandikisha wanafunzi katika mfumo mmoja kutoka chekechea mpaka chuo kikuu, lakini una tashishi fulani ambayo sisi kama wabunge hatujatosheka na jinsi wizara inayohusika inataka kubadili huu mfumo kwa njia ambayo si wazi. Pamoja na hayo, kuna urekebishaji ambao unaendelea. Unakumbuka kwamba juma lililopita katibu Bitok alitangaza kwamba kuna shule ambazo hazijapokea fedha za capitation kwa sababu moja, kwamba njia ile ambayo wameandikishamo wanafunzi ina utata. Baada ya kukundua kwamba kuna wanafunzi gushi, so wakabadilisha mfumo wa kuandikisha. So unaandikisha mwanafunzi pamoja na si tu birth certificate, pia tunataka tuone picha yake. Okay? Na ikachelewesha kidogo. Nilipokuwa nyumbani juma lililopita, nilitembelea shule kadhaa za msingi na shule kadhaa za sekondari, nikapata kweli wale waliokuwa wamefanya vile waliahidiwa, fedha zimeingia, na wale ambao wajakamilisha fedha zao hazijaingia. Kwa hivyo ni jambo ambalo kama bunge tunataka kulishughulikia kwa makini. Asubuhi hii kamati ya elimu inaketi kuangalia haya mambo yote asubuhi hii ya leo. Na juma lililopita katibu anayehusika na maafisa wake walikuwa pamoja na kamati na tukayazungumzia kwa kina. Kuna ripoti ambayo tunaitayarisha na sitaki kuizungumzia uamuzi ambao tumefikia na vile tunaupeleka katika bunge kwa sababu kanuni za bunge hazikubali,
haziruhusu. Asante Mheshimiwa Nabii na Bwera. Na kabla hata nimshirikishe wakili hapa, tuingie katika mojawapo ya masuala ambayo pia Wakenya watasubiria kuona kama wabunge na pia bunge la Seneti, japo sina seneta hapa, vile atakuwa anaangaziwa, na baadaye nitarejelea katika uhusiano wenu na bunge la Seneti. Rais kutaja kwamba upo ufisadi, madai ya rais kwamba upo ufisadi katika mabunge ya hapa nchini. Kwa mfano alitilia mfano kamati ya JLAC, na baadaye akataja pia kwamba sasa imefika wakati wa bunge inakuwa kwamba hata wana hongo ama wanapokea hongo, ili kwamba wakaweza hata kuandika ripoti pale katika bunge, sawa na bunge la Senate ambapo alitaja kima cha shilingi milioni 150 ambazo alisema kwamba ziliweza kupokelewa ili kwamba waangazie masuala ya kubanduliwa kwa magavana. Swali langu kwako moja kwa moja, Mheshimiwa Nabii Nabwera, upo ufisadi katika bunge?
Nataka nichukue nafasi hii niseme hivi. Nilikuwa katika ule mkutano ambao rais aliutaja jambo hilo, na lilikuwa ni jambo ambalo kwa mimi kama mbunge ambaye sijapokea hongo nilipikwa na butwa, kwa sababu bunge la Kenya National Assembly ambapo mimi niko lina wabunge 347. Bunge lina wafanyakazi zaidi ya 2,000 wafanyakazi, na hao wafanyakazi wako katika viwango kuanzia kwa speaker mpaka kwa yule mfanyakazi wa chini, na hata kati yao wafanyakazi kuna polisi ndani mwake. Kwa hivyo swala lililonisumbua mimi ni kwamba ukisema kuna ufisadi katika bunge, ni bunge lote kwa jumla ama ni mtu mmoja fulani? Na mbona usimtaje huyo mtu? Kwa sababu kitendo cha ufisadi hakiwezi fanywa na institution. Kitendo cha ufisadi kinafanywa na mtu binafsi, na wakili yuko hapa anaweza kutueleza hiyo. It can never be a joint crime.
Kwa hivyo kuna ufisadi katika bunge?
Mimi sijauona. Na ule aliyesema rais aliyosema ana haki ya kutaja yule amehusika na ufisadi, ndio sisi pia
na hayo ndio maswali ambayo yamekuwa yakijitokeza. Rais alisema ndio upo, lakini maswali yamekuwa ni kwa nini basi hajataja, na alisema will not shame them, lakini kisha kwamba sheria,
na kwa nini hajawashika
mkondo wake.
Kwa nini hajashikwa? Kwa sababu by the way hii nchi tumefanyia jambo la ufisadi siasa, na haisaidii nchi.
Shikilia pale mheshimiwa,
haisaidii nchi. Kuna katika kwa mikono ya rais kuna EACC, shirika ambalo linahusika na mambo ya ufisadi. Hata yeye ana haki ya kuchukua karatasi, aandike barua, aseme Mheshimiwa Nabii Nabwera ameibia watu wa bunge, amechukua hii ufisadi, nina huu ushahidi, hebu nenda ufanye uchunguzi. Ana DCI ambayo ni kitengo cha polisi ambacho kinahusika na ujasusi na kufanya uchunguzi wa jambo lolote ambalo ni kinyume na sheria. Ako na mashirika mengi ya kibinafsi na ya kiserikali. Ninasema hivi, hatuwezi kulifanyia jambo la ufisadi siasa.
Kwa hivyo umesema iwapo kuna ufisadi basi rais ataje wahusika. Wakili, kabla sijampisha mbunge wa Nandi Hills Bernard Kituru pia amewasili. Karibu sana mheshimiwa. Nirejee kwako wakili. Madai ya masemizo za rais unazichukulia vipi katika asasi muhimu hizi ambazo wananchi wanaziangalia katika utunzi wa sheria na masuala ya uwajibikaji na kuwakilisha katika njia ambayo inafaa, ikizingatiwa kwamba pia ipo katiba ambayo inazungumzia masuala ya uwajibikaji na vile sera na hata pia aina gani ya watu ambao tunafaa kuwa nao katika uongozi kwa mujibu wa ibara ya 6 ya katiba?
Naelewa matamshi ambayo tunayazungumzia kuwa ni matamshi ya kisiasa tu. Kwa kweli, kusema kweli, kuna institutions mingi sana ambazo ziko na hayo mamlaka. Kisheria sisi tunasema kwamba lazima uchunguzi ufanyike kwanza ndio matamshi yasemwe. Wakati unakuja kushikwa na polisi, haushikwi ndio uanze uchunguzi. Na hata hayo matamshi yenyewe hayana umuhimu wowote kwa sababu hayajatoka kwa institution ambayo inafaa kufanya hayo.
Rais anaweza kuzungumza tu kitu ambacho labda hakipo.
Kuna kile katiba imepatia commissions ziko independent of the executive. Ni kama vile hawa wako independent, they are supposed to do kazi yao ya kuchunguza haya madai. kama wawakilishi wa Wakenya. EACC, it is an independent commission ambayo haichukui, hata haifai kukuwa instructed hata na rais. Inafaa kuwa inafanya hayo kuchunguza hizo allegations zote ili kupatie jibu. Ni kweli, kusema kweli, wakati unasikia maneno kama haya na yanatoka kwa bunge ambayo inafaa iwakilisha wa Kenya, tunakuwa na wasiwasi kwa sababu haujui huyu anasema ukweli, nani anasema uongo. Kile inahitajika, na hiyo ndio nimeomba wanasiasa wote waelewe, institutional frameworks zikiachwa zifanye kazi, ndio tutakuwa tunajua ukweli ni upi na uongo ni upi. Kusema tu huyu ameiba kwa sababu ya hiyo sasa ameiba, hapo ndio kuna makosa.
Na unasema matamshi ya rais ni ya kisiasa.
Kuna jopo ambalo aliunda la kuangalia hayo maamuzi. Ukiangalia hiyo jopo, sisi tulienda tukaipinga kotini kwa sababu hana huo uwezo wa kuunda jopo ya kuchunguza mambo kama hayo. Ni kinyume na katiba kwa sababu already tuko na EACC ambayo inafaa ichunguze hayo mambo, itupe ripoti. Parliament iko na uwezo under kipengee cha 125 iko na uwezo wa kuitisha evidence from anyone. Mtu yote ambaye anasema kuna ufisadi hapa, wanaweza wakaenda wakaketi, wanaweza kuata na jopo kazi la parliament yote, the committee of the whole house, waitishe uchunguzi, waitishe wale ambao wanasema wako na information ambayo itasaidia wa Kenya kutoa huo woga kama kuna ufisadi ama hakuna ufisadi. Tusipofanya hivyo, tutakuwa tu tukizunguka na tutakuwa tunaenda mbele. Hayo ndio maoni yangu, na hiyo ni hivyo ndio sheria inataka.
Naam.
Yes.
Shukrani sana wakili. Na upande wa televisheni tutachukua pumziko fupi, lakini katika upande wa Radio Taifa tunaendelea. Msikilizaji na mtazamaji, tuendelee kutupatia kauli zako kwa mitandao ya kijamii, matarajio yako kuhusiana na kurejelewa kwa shughuli za mabunge yote mawili, sawa na pia tetesi kwamba upo ufisadi katika bunge. Je, maoni yako ni yapi? Karibu sana Mheshimiwa Bernard Kitur, mbunge wa Nandi Hills.
Asante sana, mjambo wasikilizaji kila mahali ambapo mko. Nimechelewa kidogo lakini nafurahi nimefika hapa.
Asante. Umepata tukizungumzia swala ambalo kidogo hapa naona linaanza kuinua na kuongeza hisia, semi za rais. Kabla mjichukua pumziko kidogo fupi ambalo alikuwa anasema mheshimiwa hapo kwamba ilikuwa ni pumziko fupi la kufanya kazi kule mashinani. Rais akataja kwamba upo ufisadi katika bunge, sio bunge la taifa tu, bunge la seneti pia lilitaja, lakini sitaki tuende seneti maana ninyi ni wabunge wa bunge la kitaifa. Kuna ufisadi katika bunge la kitaifa?
Kwanza kabisa ninataka ni align myself kwa ile statement ndugu zangu wamesema, kwa sababu mimi nimeingia bungeni mara yangu ya kwanza, na nimefika pale kama kijana nikiwa na maono mazuri ya kujaribu kuweka level ya uongozi iende juu kidogo, kwa sababu vijana taifa hili tulikuwa wengi wanaumia wakiwa pale, na unaomba ukipata an opportunity ya kuweza kuongoza, ninataka nifanye kwa ukweli na haki na nionyeshe nidhamu ya hali ya juu. Mimi mwenyewe kule bungeni sijawahi participate ama sijawahi ona milioni 150 inatembea. Mimi sijawahi ona yenye iko mahali pesa inatembea. In my view,
umesikia inatembea?
Hata
hapa mheshimiwa Nabii alisema yeye hajawahi kupokea. So labda ipo wale wanapokea. Umesikia ipo ama haipo?
Ndio nakwambia, hata mimi nilisikia siku hiyo wakati rais alinema kwa kusema kwamba kuna pesa imepetembea, na akauliza mlipata. Hata sisi wote tunashangaa iko wapi hiyo pesa.
Mtu alikuwa anauliza mwenzake.
Kwa sababu hatuwezi kubali mambo kama hayo.
Lakini bwana mheshimiwa Kitur, rais anaweza kuamka tunakuzungumza kutoka tu mahali out of nowhere vile tunaweza kusema.
Uwezi niuliza swali kama hilo kwa sababu unajua mimi niko na heshima kubwa sana kwa rais wa Jamhuri la Kenya. Lakini ni kwako, mimi nitakwambia yale mimi nayajua. Siwezi sema yale mimi siyajui. Alright? Mimi nakueleza kwamba kule bungeni tunakuanga wengi, na kama kuna jambo lolote lile tunakuanga na kwanza privileges committee ambayo ni kali sana kule. Ukifanya makosa kama mbunge pale ukikalishwa, hayo mambo yote na kila Mkenya atajua. Any Kenyan mwenye anajua kwamba nimeitishwa hongo, kuna mahali penye unaweza ripoti hilo jambo. La pili, EACC. Kwa ya tatu, kuna chazuzi, kuna DCI. Yenye sisi wenyewe hata tulipoingia bungeni, kama unakumbuka mheshimiwa Nabii na Bwera, tuliongezea pesa ili waweza wakuwe na capacity. Sasa kwa hivyo mimi kama mbunge ningetaka niwaambie wa Kenya, pengine statements zingine zinaweza kuwa political pia, sielewi, lakini sisi wote mambo ya ufisadi lazima tuikomeshe, na tusitumie statement ya ufisadi as a political tool ya kuweza kuadvance political statements. Kama kweli mtu unampata kwamba kuna jamaa fulani hapa amepatikana akichukua hongo, ashikwe. Kwa sababu hawezi tuharibia majina wala ambao tunajunga majina yetu sana, na tunataka tufanyie Wakenya haki, na tumerudi saizi bungeni tukiwa na all the strength to do what is right for our country. Kusema kwamba kuna pengine kati yenu na usemi ni huyu, useme ni huyu basi.
Kwa hivyo mnatarajia kwamba wapo basi watatajwa.
Exactly.
Na sheria ichukue mkondo wake.
Na tunangoja by now actually tungekuwa tumesikia investigation inafanyika, tukiona kwa katika wenzetu hakuna, so tunauliza ni nani huyu?
Kwa wall kila siku hata tulikuwa tunauliza
wakili, nikulete kidogo kwa dakika moja tu, labda mambo kama haya kwa vyovyote vile yanaweza kuathiri utendakazi wa bunge ama pia imani ya Wakenya katika hao waheshimiwa ambao wanawatizamia kama wale ambao wanaongoza.
Kile ambacho Wakenya wanafaa waelewe ni kuwa hizi institutions hazifai kupigana. Hapo ndio makosa, na hiyo kupigana inakuja kwa sababu wanaleta siasa ndani. Wakati rais anataka financial budget ku approved, parliamentarians wanakuja vizuri, wana approve budget kulingana na vile watataka, serikali imepanga budget yake. Hapo hakuna ufisadi. Ni kwa sababu sisi kisheria mahali tuko, sheria ya Kenya saizi inasema kama wewe uko na budget, kazi ya parliament ni ku-oversight. So that tukisema hii pesa imeenda kwa shule, ifike shuleni. Isipofika shuleni, parliament itakuja ipeane ripoti. Ikishapeana ripoti kuwa kuna ufisadi hapa, EACC chukue hapo, ianze kufanya uchunguzi. Sasa kile naomba hao ikuwe ni kama ndio the clarion call to hizi institutions zote zinaweza fanya kazi kimantiki, professionally na in a very reliable manner. Ukiangalia judiciary iko na role yake. Hatuwezi piga mtu mawe kwa sababu ameitwa mwizi. Lazima aende asomewe mashtaka, aelezewe, ajitetee na tupate uamuzi. President ako na budget, ako na manifesto yake. Hawezi implement kama parliament haija approve. Ndio sababu hizi semi ambazo mnaziona zinakuja huku zinatupotosha kwa kuangazia yale maslahi ya Wakenya, ambayo tukisema kweli hatufai kuzungumzia kuhusu ufisadi na SHA haifanyi kazi kwa mfano.
Naam, tutaenda pale kwa SHA wakati mwingine, maana tukianza pale huo si mjadala ambao utaumaliza kwa sasa. Na turejee hapa na tuzungumzie masuala ambayo pia tulikuwa tumesema baadhi ya yale ambao wananchi wanatarajia kutoka kwenu kama wajumbe. Najua pia moja ya mambo ambayo pia wananchi wanakuwa wanatazamia sana ni labda, japo swala hili nitalitaja tu kwa kidogo maana yake najua liko mahakamani. Ningependa labda kupata msimamo wako, nianze nawe Mheshimiwa Nabii Nabwera, kuhusiana na mfumo ambao umependekezwa na serikali, ule mfumo wa kuweza kufanya procurement katika njia ya mtandao EGPS. Jambo ambalo najua ndio kesi inafaa kusikizwa mwezi ujao, lakini unakoketi wewe
kama bunge. By the way, kabla tuende likizo, mkifuatilia tulichukua uamuzi. Tulisema mahali nchi hii inaketi na hata network vile iko jinsi tunaendesha shule zetu, kwa sababu ni za serikali, jinsi tunafanya kazi yetu kule mashinani wa shirika la CDF, itakuwa ni vigumu
kwenda katika procurement kwa njia ya mtandao.
Kuulize Kibayo High School, mama mjane anasomesha mtoto kwa kupeleka kuni. How will you do procurement ya kuni? Itarudi saa ngapi kwa huyo mama? Hana hata simu ya mtandao. Huyo mama hana simu ya mtandao. Huyo mama anasomesha mtoto yake kwa mahindi. Anavuna mahindi gunia moja, analeta maragwe gunia moja. How will you do procurement? I mean, kuna wakati mwingine jambo ni nzuri la kimataifa, ni nzuri kwa IMF, ni nzuri kwa World Bank, lakini kufanya kazi kwa kila siku ni vigumu. Mimi kuna kule constituency kuna shule ndogo sana na kuna hawa mafundi wa kawaida. Unajua fundi ule amejifunza kazi ya ujenzi kutoka kwa fundi mwingine. Shirika la CDF likitaka kujenga darasa linataka kutumia ule fundi wa pale nyumbani, anaielewa, ana bei nafuu.
Ukienda kwa e-procurement huyo hata waipata. Huyo mtu wa kawaida ni mabwenyenye au wa Nairobi. See and company. Ndio watapata hizo tena na mtu wa kawaida.
Sawa mheshimiwa, acha nisikie bwana Kituru, mheshimiwa Kituru. Msimamo wako, amesema mlichukua msimamo lakini unapoketi mfumo huu wa e-procurement.
Ningetaka niseme hivi, jambo la kwanza ni kwamba nilifurahia wakati wakili alikuwa anasema kwamba ni vizuri serikali ikiwa na vitengo tatu, that is the judiciary, legislature na executive, wote wafanya kazi kwa independently yet again mutually. Independently kwa sababu kila mmoja amepewa mandate yake katika constitution yetu. Koti ilijipronounce kwa njia yake. Sisi kama bunge tukiwa representatives ya wananchi pia tuliweza kujadiliana hili jambo kwa kina sana. Nataka niseme ni jambo mzuri kwa ukubwa kufanya hii mambo ya hii procurement, na tukukataa kusema completely isifanyike. Tulisema tuipe muda kwa sababu kweli institutions kubwa itaweza kufanya. Ya pili, tuko sure kwamba internet haiko kila mahali. Kuna wajumbe wengi wanasema what will happen, vile ame explain, because everybody has to participate katika hii procurement. Ni kweli kwamba itasaidia sana kupunguza mambo ya corruption, but at the same time ita promote level lingine ya watu wale ambao watajiweza zaidi. So tukasema hata wangestaga hii kitu, but general after conversation yote tukasema basi sisi kama bunge tumelichukulia our position na iko hivi. So kwa hivyo tunangojea pia tuione vile itakavyokwenda. Sisi kama wabunge tulipronounce ourselves. I repeat again, it is a good system, it is a good thing. Anything technological is good, sikatai, lakini pia saa zingine we look at the practicality of how it will be actioned.
Mojawapo ya sababu ambayo imetajwa sana kuelekea katika mfumo hii ni kuhakikisha kwamba jambo moja la ufisadi tumelivunjilia mbali, na jambo la pili kuhakikisha kwamba tunakaa bila inaitwa wastage, uharibifu labda wa rasilimali. Katika muktadha huo sana sana labda uharibifu, mnasemaje kwamba tunaweza tukaokoa? Nilikuwa anasikiza kwa mfano tu alipokuwa anasema rais akizungumza na watu kutoka Indonesia, kwa wao kwa 40% waliweza kukomboa uharibifu wa fedha kwa kuelekea katika mtandao huu wa e-procurement.
Can I tell you, dada yangu, unajua hapa Kenya we get things upside down. Kweli, this is from the bottom of my heart. Mnataka jambo la maadili, jambo la ufisadi ni jambo la maadili. By the way, si jambo la teknolojia. I want to refuse that, kwa sababu tulipoteza mabilioni kupitia kwa IFMIS. Si ni mtandao? Tulipoteza mabilioni. You saw it. Auditor General akasema in 2021 counties zimelipa pesa kupitia kwa IFMIS, zikiwemo Kilifi, Kiambu, kwa watu wenye wajulikani. Si ni mtandao? So I can tell you from where I sit, it is si ukweli kwamba rekebisha tabia na maadili kupitia mfumo wa mtandao. Hapana. Jambo la ufisadi ni jambo la maadili, kwa sababu hata huyu ndugu yangu atakwambia sisi hutumia mtandao katika mambo mingi. Mnaweza kukubaliana na kutumia kwa huyo mtandao muendeleze ufisadi.
Asante sana mheshimiwa. Kabla nimlete wakili tena, nirudi kwako bwana Kituru mheshimiwa. Kwa sasa takriban shilingi bilioni 524 inadaiwa, wanakandarasi wanadai zile pesa, na pia tunapozungumzia mabadiliko labda mfumo katika njia moja au nyingine, labda mtafanya vipi kuhakikisha kwamba labda hao wanakandarasi wanapata kilicho chao, kazi haija kuama, labda iwe katika shule, iwe katika county, wakati ambapo bado kuna huku tuende huku ama tusalie huku kwingine, ama tujumuishe mifumo yote miwili, manual pamoja na njia elektroniki?
Nimerudia tena kusema kwamba tuli pronounce ourselves kama bunge.
Hao wanakandarasi sasa ambao wanadai.
So kwa hivyo jambo lililoko hapa ni kwamba wamefanya kazi. Of course tunaenda kufungua hata pesa kwa mambo ya fast supplementary. Hiyo ni jambo la maana tena sana wakati tunarudi saizi tunarejelea bunge, ili basi watu waweze kulipwa, institutions waweze kupata pesa ya kutumia in the first quarter, kwa sababu kutoka tusome budget mpaka sasa pesa haijawahi release. kumaliziwa. So that is one of our big duty wakati sasa tunaenda kuregea. In fact nilikuwa nadhani utauliza ni mambo gani, you know, the step mambo mengi ambayo tunaenda kufanya sasa.
Tulianzia hapo kabla hujafanya. Ndio.
So ningetaka niseme kwamba part of those conversations itafanyika na we will be representing them properly so that the executive has to make a decision. So nimesema tena sisi tumechukua position and that is a conversation we'll need to sit down again as parliamentarians and see wakati tumekubaliana kwa jambo. Sasa inaenda vipi? Najua judiciary imesema yao. Na pia nimerudia tena ili jambo ambalo rais alipitisha yeye vile anavyotaka procurement. It is good in the long run. Lakini nakubaliana pia na mheshimiwa hapa kwamba ni maadili. Kwa sababu mtu unaweza amua kufanya ukarabati ukitaka. You know, wanaweza fanya because we've always had a system. Of course I expect this to be a better system than the other one. Kujaribu kugap this, you know, ukora yote kutumia teknolojia. Ni kweli kwamba kutakuwa na wingi ambao tutaweza kusupport na kureduce wastages. Na ile hata ukora yenye watu walikuwa na saa zingine wana overquote. It is a good thing the president is doing for this country. Lakini tuone pia the process of implementation. This is what we are concerned about.
Asante sana. Na muda si mrefu tutachukua pumziko tusikie wananchi wanasemaje, lakini wakili na pia nitarudi pale manake leo naona kama mjadala tunagusia sana masuala ya maadili na tumeona pia ripoti ya EACC ambayo pia imeonyesha kwamba matumizi ya jamaa ama watu wa familia kama njia ya kuficha masuala ya ufisadi, na sijui katika mahali ambapo unaketi wakati ambapo semi hizi zinatoka upande wa EACC kwamba utakuta watu wanatumia sana familia. Kwa mfano labda biashara ni yangu lakini sitaweka jina langu, labda nitaweka jina la ndugu yangu na mwingine hivyo. Mahali unaketi wakili, hili ni swala ambalo tutawahi kulishughulikia kikamilifu? Maana kuna wale wanasema ni vigumu kufanya biashara peke yako. Labda ulete mtu wa familia kidogo.
Na ukweli integrity chapter 6 of the constitution ilikadiria. Mimi naelezea kwamba siasa za Kenya vile tunaziona zimechafuliwa sana. Chapter 6 kuimplement tunaongelea about honesty. Tunaongelea about accountability. Tunaongelea about wewe kama ukitembea kama institution ya EACC unafaa kuwa accountable kwa Wakenya. Hakuna haja ya kuongea tu. Kuongea tu ndio tunaweza. Hakuna, haifai hivyo. Inafaa kuwe kwamba iwapo ni ufisadi, EACC ndio kazi yake. Those people are paid every day. Kila siku wanaamka kwenda kazini vile sisi tunaamka kwenda kazini. Wako na nguvu za kuchunguza. Iwapo kwa maoni maybe ya rais ama nini, kuna hiyo aspect ya kwamba kuna hii system itatusaidia. Ni kweli itatusaidia, lakini ikitusaidia haifai kunyanyasa wengi. Nakubaliana na mheshimiwa kitu moja. Na tulikuwa kotini tukapingana na hii kitu ya e-citizen. There was a time walikuwa wanataka pesa zote ulipie through e-citizen mpaka watoto wa shule. Na tulienda kotini tukaambia jaji. Tukamwambia jaji kwamba kweli kuna watu wanalipa school fees na ng'ombe. Kwa sababu ni parents day, watoto watakula chakula. Kuna watu wanakuja na gunia. Ukienda mahali kama Turkana hakuna internet. Ukienda upate mtu hata ana simu ambayo inaweza angalia hiyo. Hao ndio wale watu ambao tunataka wasaidiwe. In conversations na haya mazungumzo yote, kama hatusaidii hao watu, hatuna. Kujibu swali yako kuhusiana na kuunda biashara maybe kutumia, hakuna makosa kwa kufanya hivyo. Makosa iko hapa kwa kutumia njia za kiserikali ama za kisheria kupora kutoka kwa umma. Kufanya biashara ni kawaida, kila mtu anafanya biashara. Kweli si eti tumeanza hatujaanza maisha baada ya kukua wanasiasa ama kukua rais. Tulikuwa na biashara zetu.
Pitisha hivi majuzi inaitwa conflict of interest bill. Hiyo ni bill ilienda kwa rais, ikarudishwa, ikarudishwa, ikaingia Senate. Hiyo bill ni bill yenye if you are a public servant, wewe, familia yako, anybody around, kila mtu hafai kufanya biashara karibu na wewe. Na the penalty is terrible. Part of the things mimi nitashukuru kusema kwamba rais is doing to cap the issue of corruption. It is very tough. Of course itaumiza pia kwa sababu kama sasa bibi yangu anafanya biashara, she will not now do anything anywhere far off kule. So it's a very tough bill.